Come on, guys, it's across the great iron. It's Sunday, football day, NFL Sunday, first Sunday of the season. And I'm just gonna, put this a little bit because there's been some breaking news that has come in, and that is my man, Dak Prescott, becomes the highest ever paid quarterback in the NFL. And listen, right, um, this thing was absolutely ridiculous. It was very ridiculous for a number of reasons. And you had everyone talking about, Dak Prescott doesn't do it in the playoffs. That's why he's not been signed yet. Dak Prescott is not a very good quarterback. He's not better than, Justin Herbert. He's not better than Deshaun Watson. He's not better than Tua. The list goes on and on and on and on. And, according to some people, Dak Prescott is not very good. It's not very good. But I think the facts don't lie. The facts don't lie. You don't get to be, all pro, which is hard to do. You don't also get to be the second in the MVP running and not be a good quarterback. I don't care how you slice and dice it. Now hold on. Dak Prescott, can be better, right? He could go further in the playoffs. But that's the Dallas Cowboys problem. It's not so much a Dak Prescott problem. It's the Dallas Cowboys problem. Look at how long it's taken them. They've never been to the NFC Championship. It's almost 30 years. What are we talking about here? There is something about that organization, and Dak Prescott signing his contract hours before the kickoff. Now, I'm sure he probably signed it, maybe the night before or some days ago. I know why they do it today, because it makes the biggest splash and it gets people talking about a Cowboys game before the game. And this is Jerry Jones, all over Jerry Jones. Listen, Jerry Jones knew he was going to sign Dak Prescott to this number. I guarantee that he probably knew that from the offseason. But if he does that, no one's going to talk about the Cowboys throughout the whole offseason. And he's milked it, and everyone's talking about Dak Prescott. It was CeeDee Lamb. It was then after CeeDee Lamb. It was, why isn't CeeDee Lamb getting paid? And it was Dak Prescott. Why isn't Dak Prescott getting paid? And now all of that is all done. And I guess I tell you what's gonna happen now. Right, the next sort of controversy, from the Dallas Cowboys, is gonna be Michael Parsons. Right? That it's going to be Michael Parsons. Everyone is going to move on now and say Michael Parsons should be paid and all of that. And I bet you they're going to drag this thing all the way until the very last minute before Michael gets paid. That's just how Cowboys do business, right? So, Dak Prescott now signed $240 million. It's a 4-year contract, $60 million per year. And he's getting $80 million per signing. So that's fully guaranteed. He gets that money, walks away. Right? But I understand there's about 230 something of that is guaranteed. And you know how the contracts work. You've got a slice here, slice there. More often than not, for a quarterback, you get to see all that money. If it was a wide receiver and, or some other skill position, I'll probably say, you get that first, thing that you get a signing, and then after that, you never know what the organization does. They might decide to move, anywhere. And then there were rumors, right, whether Shindor was going to be, on the Cowboys radar. But hey, you can't have the kind of team that the Cowboys have and not really, have one of the best quarterbacks you've ever had in a long time to just walk out the door. And let me tell you this, right? If you look at the NFL right now, there are not that many quarterbacks that consistently what you're going to get. There's not. And everyone talks about Justin Herbert, but has he really been injury-free, right? Everyone talks about Joe Burrow. Well, have we really seen Joe Burrow except that first rookie year that he went all the way to the Super Bowl? Not really. So, and if you look at, Cincinnati, you look at the Rams, well, they got a Super Bowl, and McVay is just amazing, right? He's amazing, and there's a reason why they got that Super Bowl. There's no question about that. You look also in the NFC, Jordan Love, he's had, one half of a good season, right? And now he's being projected to be better than everybody else. And I always say, slow down, relax, right? Relax, mate, relax, because you need to get a better sample size of a quarterback to start saying he's out of this world. So Jalen Love, slow down. And then you've got Texans, right? CJ Stroud, baller, right? Even I can look at it and be like, hey, that dude has got something. But it's a sophomore slump, right? That's the real thing, right? So let's see how, they pull that all together. Let's see if they can cook, and do it again this season. But hey, listen, I'm happy for Dak Prescott. Put that to bed. I think for me, he's a good quarterback. Listen, I get frustrated, and if you watch this channel, every now and then I'm gonna have a pop at Dak Prescott. I'm gonna have a pop about him, but it's all love. It's all love. I love the guy. I want him to do better. I'm a Cowboys fan. I want to see the Cowboys win. And when we don't win, I like to criticize them. I like to say they should have done better. It doesn't mean that I'm throwing all my toys out of the pram. Maybe sometimes. But it doesn't mean that I've given up on the team. No. Another team that I support that frustrates the heck out of me is Arsenal in the English Premier League. Been supporting them all the time. I always say to my friend, there's a bit of an analogy between the Cowboys and Arsenal, right? We're always getting this close, but never just really getting the real thing, right? And maybe it's going to change. Maybe it's going to be this year, right? Because people are talking about Arsenal, potentially winning the league. Man City is ridiculous. Man City are like the Kansas City Chiefs, right? You've got to go past them, to win anything in the Premier League. So, the Kansas City Chiefs are there, so you've got to go past Mahomes, I kind of think of, Mahomes and Kansas City, and I just think about some kind of, sorcerer and stuff, because that's what the guy does. The guy is just throwing magic all over the place. It's ridiculous. I mean, you cannot say it's luck, right? You cannot say it's luck. Although they got a bit lucky in their first game against the Baltimore Ravens. But, hey, a toe, what's a toe? What's a toe got to do with it? I mean, look at that game, just pivoting now, to just reflecting on that game against the Chiefs. Listen, it was, I don't know how, you've got to be a good team, right? It's those small details, right, that always goes in your favor and you end up winning. The Kansas City Chiefs are off to the roll. 2 close games, the one at Brazil with the Eagles. I really wanted the Eagles to lose. But then also, they've got too much talent. I've got to say, they've got too much talent. You saw Devonta Smith going all the way there. Listen, Saquon Barkley, he's going to be a problem. He is going to be a problem. Saquon Barkley is going to be a problem for a lot of people in the league, especially the Cowboys. Whew. I think they've brought Saquon to see whether we can really stop the run. And that was our problem last season. We could not stop the run. We couldn't stop a nosebleed. It was ridiculous. Saquon Barkley is going to be a problem. But let's talk about, the game today. The game today, listen, the game today concerns me, but it concerns me in the defensive position, right? I'm not so worried about the offense because I think the offense will figure itself out. Dak Prescott, new contract, CeeDee Lamb, new contract. Hey, you could say that the running back is not as great, but I think that you've got, Deuce, you've got Rico. I think Rico is going to be the starter. You got a bit of Zeke, that goal line. We missed that. You know how many times we got to the red zone and we couldn't punch it in last season? You got Zeke now. Zeke's going to punch it in. Zeke is your hammer. And if Zeke is not working, you got Dalvin Cook. Punch that in. So I'm not worried about the offense, but I do worried about the defense. And I'll tell you why. Right? We've got a rookie player who's playing on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. And if the Browns are anything worth their salt, they're going to target him. I bet you they're going to target him. And, you've got Amari Cooper there. And you've got, Judy as well. Whew, that's going to be a handful. And we saw, a lot of times where people were targeting Deron Bland, even though he had all the picks, people were saying, hey, well, you know what, you can still target him, and still get the big play. And I feel like there will be one big play in this game at Cleveland that's going to target that rookie, right? And you're going to get a big play. So I don't know if Zimmer is going to say, Trevon, follow Amari Cooper wherever he goes, because Amari Cooper is going to get his, right? He's going to get his. He's too good a wide receiver not to get his. But the Cowboys have to stop the run. That's how they have to do it. If they stop the run, and then Micah and the boys can be like, hoo, 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 hoo. Yeah, that's now we're talking, right? We're talking. So they got to stop the run, and let's see, because that's mission number one. Mission number one: stop the run. And now let's see what's going on. Listen, the rest of the league is going to be interesting. There's some absolutely great games there. I didn't do a prediction of each game, how they're going to flow, but I think I'm going to do that, next week. I'm going to look at next week, and I'm going to look at my take, who I think is going to win, in week number 2. I think, if I can see if I can remember some of the games now, I'm going to have to look that up. I could even do a quick one right now. Let's see. I'm just going to pull up my computer and just see what the fixtures is for NFL Sunday today. And so let's look at the fixtures. All right. Okay, so Saints Panthers. You're gonna go with the Saints there. I know I talked very highly of the Panthers, but I don't think today is that day. I think they're gonna wait a little bit more for that first win. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. You got Giants, Vikings. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know who's the quarterback. Both questionable, but I think Daniel Jones. I'm gonna give the Giants this one, and the reason why I'm giving the Giants is because as bad as everyone talks about Daniel Jones, he still does a lot of stuff with his legs, and actually he's quite a threat with his legs. So I think he's probably gonna nick this one out. So I'm gonna go with the Giants on that one. Bengals, Patriots is Bengals all day, right? Patriots, I'm not sure quite yet. Falcons, Steelers. Russell Wilson went down. Justin Fields. First game, Atlanta Falcons. They've got Pitt. They've got Bijan Robinson. They've got Kirk Cousins there who can win games. I'm going to go with Falcons. Yeah. Let's go with Falcons. Let's lock that in. Colts, Texans. CJ Stroud, baby. I know Anthony Richardson is coming back, and but CJ Stroud, with Stephon Diggs, give me the Texans in that game. Bills, Cardinals. Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Well, I'm just going to go with the Bills, right? I'm going to give the Bills, because James Cook is that guy. He is that guy. And they're going to run the ball, I believe, in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills in that one. Bears, Titans. Unveiling Caleb Williams. The unveiling of Caleb Williams. You know what? I'm going to give Bears the victory. You know what? They need a few good things to happen to them. I'll give Bears the victory in that one. Dolphins, Jaguars. Hey, Tyreek is real. Waddle is real, right? I know what's been going on in the defense. It seems like all over the place. Players won out. But I think Tua is still a decent quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins there on that one. So Dolphins to get that one over the line. Let's talk about Seahawks, Broncos. Seahawks. I don't really know what the Seahawks going to look like. I feel like the Broncos are going to be competitive. They just couldn't score a lot. And okay, let's, forget the 70-point game that they had last season. That was an aberration. I'm going to go with the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos in that one. Give me the Broncos in that game. Chargers, Raiders. The Raiders. Come on. Chargers, Raiders. I'm going to go with the Chargers. Let's see how that one plays out. Obviously, Cowboys, Browns, going to go with the Cowboys. You already know Cowboys. I'm going to go with that. And one I'm going to talk about, Buccaneers, Commanders. Jaden Daniels. Everyone says he's the real deal. Washington, you've got Dan Quinn, going over there, head coach, defensive coach. So they're gonna be better. They've got some good weapons there. Um, yeah, they've got some good weapons. McLaurin is a good wide receiver. And they always play hard. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the Commanders in that one. Gonna go with the Commanders. And to wrap it up, we got Lions, Rams. Whew, that's a really, really tough game. Really tough game. Lions and the Rams. Um, who do I want to go with? Oh, that's a close one. I think it could go either way. I'm gonna sit on the fence with this one. There's no draw games in the NFL. I know what you mean. But I think that this is the kind of game that will be resolved by a field goal. They're both very decent, but I'm gonna give the edge just to the Rams because they've got more offensive weapons. You got Puka Nacua there, you got Cooper Kupp, and anytime he has a full healthy season, that dude goes off. So I expect Cooper Kupp to go for 100 yards. He's in my fantasy league, so I expect good thing. What am I talking about? He's in my fantasy league. Rams take that one. 49ers, Jets. The second coming of Aaron Rodgers. Was that second coming? Because of last season should have been the second coming, but then he had 4 snaps and he went down. And this is the okay. Well, it's the coming of Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers likes big time teams. I feel like when he plays the big teams, he brings out his A game. And let's just be clear on this. Aaron Rodgers is one of the smartest quarterbacks, out there. The amount of time that he gets people to jump is ridiculous. And how he catches people off substitutions, teams of substitution catches them out. So I think you're going to get some, hickory pokery from Aaron Rodgers because he's just the best at that. He's very good at that as well. I think we've already seen from the Kansas City Chiefs games and the Baltimore Ravens games that penalties are back again, right? I mean, what was that all about? 4 penalties for what? Illegal formation? That thing just absolutely drives me crazy. I hate those kind of penalties. Illegal formation. What does that even mean, right? And you telling me the other teams did not have illegal formation as well, especially when it's just going to the one team, right? And it's just a drive killer, absolute drive killer. So I'm gonna watch out for that one, right? All these damn penalties, and I know my team, they love them penalties, right? They love calling penalties against the Cowboys. It's not a conspiracy, it's just facts, right? Cowboys get a lot of penalties calls against them. I think 3 seasons ago we were talking about can they stop all these ridiculous penalties. So let's see. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I said I was gonna do it in week 2. Ended up predicting, the games it is. But hey, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to enjoy myself. NFL Game Day Live is going on right now, so I'm going to be tuning in to it. It's a shame Michael Irvin is no longer part of that crew. I love Michael Irvin. But, like they say, the show must go on. But, hey, whatever you do, enjoy your Sunday. I'm going to be enjoying my Sunday here in the United Kingdom. The Cowboy game is 9:25 for us, so I think I can get a good half in before it gets to midnight. And then I have to call it a day and see how, because it's Monday morning, right? I'm going to have to catch up the rest of the game later on. But I'll see how I go. I say this and I end up watching all of the game, depending on how the Cowboys are doing. But hey, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you know when I post another video like this. Let's go.